Uvwie people are taking Delta State backwards. Warri is a brand. There's no difference. These are the kind of conversations going on at the moment. Now, I'll be able to shed some light on this, and I hope you listen with open mind. For many years, the name Warri has been popularly known to refer to certain people within a geographical location in Delta State. A booming location, popular, interesting people, to the point that it has been known for many comedians to always claim and act like they are from that place, even when they are not from that place, because somehow it sells and people enjoy the jokes and people enjoy the conversation, and they apparently act funny. Yeah, I mean, it's funny not necessarily because they are funny people, but probably their violence and the way they talk, their pidgin language is interesting. Now, all of these times when these entertainers claim to come from Warri, they are referring to a place inhabited by people from three major tribes: Urobos, Ishekiris, and the Ijaws. Years ago, like 10 years, 15 years, 20 years ago, when you hear somebody say, I'm from Warri, what comes to your mind? That the tribe is Urobo. We really don't have to try and argue that. Now, but let me further prove it. When these comedians were making their jokes, like you all want to agree that they were making jokes, what are the kind of names they use? Akpos, Akpororo, Akpo this, and very strong Urobo names. So it's safe to say, whenever you hear Warri, the tribe that comes to your mind first is Urobo. I am from Delta State, and it took me time to realize, oh, I knew Ishekiri, I've heard of it. It took me time to even understand that Warri has this tribe. Let me, before it looks like I'm even talking about disunity, let's even talk about the popular way of greeting before. When there's an occasion, when there's an event, it has always been Robo Wado, hey. Ishekiri Wado, hey. Ijo Wado, hey. Wado is an Urobo word, but to show you that there was unity is a greet like that, and nobody was shaking. It was not popular to be shaking. What are the differences between us? We understand that the languages are different, but then it was just one big happy family. The necessity to emphasize on differences began to rise when issues like land grabbing began to step in. So all of this while when the Urobos identified themselves as Warri, I mean, you go out, the Akpos says it's Warri and all of those things. The king's name was still Olu of Warri for the Shekiris. Okay, that may look confusing, so let me explain. While all of these people, Ijo, Ishekiri, Urobo, yes, as in you hear Warri and Urobo comes to your mind, because an Urobo guy is promoting Warri. You hear him say, they try me, Warri boy like me, hey, you go lost for this Warri. I'm not just trying to talk about the violence and all those things. And Urobo boy will say that, and the Ijo boy might say that, and the Shekiri boy might say that, just like that. There's no cause for alarm. As in, let me put myself as part of them. We all identified as Warri. Fair, fine. All of these times, there was the Uvwie of Uvwie. There was King for Ogili North. There is the Oroji of Okpe. There's the Olu of Warri. We know the differences. We know the territories. But there's the Warri metropolitan city that's called Warri. Problems begin to arise when, in quotes, Agberos from the Shekiris we go to communities that are established in Uvwie and begin to talk about development money. Let me explain. Uvwie has its king, has his voice. Ishekiri has his king, of course. And then demarcations just like that, but just geographical, and we all lived happily. Was one. Now, over the years, this is also a burden. This is also a very bitter part. Entertainers, guests will fly in to the States. The airport is in Osubi. Osubi is in this local government called Uvwie. Uvwie has a king called the Oroji of Uvwie. Entertainers, guests, or whoever land there, drive straight through Uvwie, go to Ajamimoga to pay homage to Olu of Warri, and come to Uvwie and do their event. There's Oroji, there's Uvwie of Uvwie. No respect, no homage. Why? You don't have to blame them so much. Because of the title, Olu of Warri. This is where it happens. If I stay in your house, if I stay in a compound, this is my house. You are my neighbor, you stay in the other flat. And someone comes to give me something and talk about wanting to use the front of my house to do an event. And the front of my house to him is actually the front of my neighbor's place. A good neighbor would talk to my neighbor and say, oh, this guy thinks I'm the one staying there, but he wants to do something in your place, so I've directed him to come and meet you. Well, this wasn't the case, and this isn't the case. But times and times, again and again, this situation is what happens. People ignore these kings, meet the king who is not the landlord of the place they want to do something, or meet the executives or the boys or whoever, and there's no relay of information. Problem begin to emerge more when the Shekiris begin to tell the Uvwie boys, the Uvwie people, the Uvwie family, and every other person that they are tenants. Begin to tell Robos in Warri that they are tenants. But how do you call the majority the tenants? Now, before Olu of Warri confuses you, look at my screen again and you see this. The title was initially referred to as the Olu of Ishekiri, changed by Wolowo to the Olu of Warri, and was debated to say this will cause commotion as it is happening right now. Furthermore, Warri was just referred to as the entire Delta before as Warri province, but later changed to Delta province, and then was when the Olu of Warri came, marking his territory. And I can tell you that many years ago, why the name Olu of Warri existed, we all lived in peace because we know the differences. But right now, more problems are beginning to arise, and therefore the Robos, the Uvwies, began to say, all right, we need to take away the Warri from the names. Let me just further throw it to you. In all of these places that they may refer to as Warri, there's 3 local governments or 2 major local governments, Warri South and Uvwie. So you can definitely separate it easily. Hence, the Urobos begin to change places in Uvwie that had the address Warri. Let me explain better. Right now, there are many established places that the address was Warri before, but Warri had to be removed to identify the correct location and prevent people that are not from Uvwie coming to claim those places. It may look like joke, it may look like just word of mouth, but actually it has gone far beyond words of mouth. Now, I'll give you some examples. There are many churches that their banners have been pulled down, their signposts pulled down. Some of them, just the Warri part of it, cut out. Some of them corrected. Many events have come to the States that they put address as Warri and then they have to correct it. To the point, the Navy barracks, the Army barracks, the mall has long been corrected from having that address Warri to a Furum and what have you. Well, I hope you're able to gain more. And if you can't still, you can read more and read well. Because as the conversation is going, a lot of people are trying to adulterate information you can naturally find on the internet. Peace.